Dear learners, welcome to my channel. Today I have got one of my very serious, punctual, and dedicated students from the United Kingdom, if I'm not wrong, Camilla Freeland. Hi, Camilla, how are you doing?
Hi, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me on my channel. And I'm sure our conversation can help many people in many different ways. If I ask, if you don't mind me asking you,
Sure.
Which part of the UK are you from?
So I'm from England and I'm from the Midlands, which is the middle of England.
Oh.
So Birmingham is actually the closest city to where I live or where I'm from.
I had been there. I had been to Birmingham once, but many years ago. Yeah, it was in a rush that one evening, I, along with a couple of my cousins, drove there. It's fine. It's a lot of, I think I remember a lot of Pakistani people live there, right?
Yes, yeah, there is. Yeah, it's quite multicultural.
Big community there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you're pretty much from the middle. Okay, do you speak any other language?
I don't. I learned a tiny bit of French when I was at school, but that was years ago and it was very small, so I don't. I would like to learn another language though.
Do you remember any dialects, anything from French at all?
Not. I just remember the really basics, like hello and how are you, things like that. I don't remember much else.
Because I know it's quite opposite. Like when it comes to structuring the sentences, they are very different, right?
Yeah.
Different. Yeah. It's not like English way that you speak. No, definitely not. Yeah. So how long have you been here in Australia?
So I've been in Australia for 3 years now.
And
yeah.
What made you decide to come to Australia rather than go to any other country?
Well, I actually came to Australia on holiday to visit my brother. He's always been traveling and I've always gone and met him when he's been in different places in the world. And he happened to be in Australia, so I came to visit him purely just for that reason. And I just fell in love with Australia. I came with my partner and we just decided we would come out. So we came out on a working holiday visa and we haven't left yet.
1 year working holiday.
1 year, yes.
I was going to ask. I think most students do that. So far, all my students I have met, they say first 1 year they spent on working holiday, followed by, as you said, falling in love and deciding to stay here permanently. Now, if I ask you this question, what made you fall in love with Australia? Like, I'm sure you have traveled many countries, right?
Yeah, I've been to a few different countries.
Okay.
I really liked the weather. I mean, that was a big thing because, you know, back in the UK, you probably know from when you went, it's so grey, it rains all the time. So the weather was a big thing. I also like the relaxed atmosphere here. Everything
very relaxing.
is just really chilled. Yeah, and that is a bit different to England.
Yeah, definitely.
So I really
like
very
sunny. Although behind me you see a little bit cloud, but generally it's very, you know, bluish sky all the time.
Yeah.
Not much of rain, actually. There is rain that we need, but not more than that. So it's beautiful. And I'm sure you are in love with all the oceanic views and everything, like Pacific Ocean.
Yes, definitely. And there's so many beautiful scenic walks you can go on as well. And so many places really close to the city, which is great.
Cliff walks and everything. Have you traveled around Australia or just around New South Wales, Sydney?
I've traveled a little bit, but not much. So I do actually have some family in Perth, and I went to see them.
Not of Perth.
I think it was last year.
I stayed there. I spent about a couple of years there.
Ah.
Which part of Perth?
I probably won't be able to pronounce it. I think it was Joondalup. quite close to the city.
Jundalu, yeah, there is one. Yes, it's nice, very nice, beautiful location.
Yeah.
Perth is a little bit hot, like when it comes to summer, like from maybe December until April, it's quite hot. Other than that, it's beautiful. It's I say it's one of the cleanest cities in the world, I would say. Very clean.
Yes,
very well organized, structured, lovely people as well. Yeah. So how are you passing your time in this lockdown? Like, you have been here for 3 years, but 2 years pretty much you have been in the prison. You have been captivated pretty much. So how have you been passing your time?
Yeah. So one thing I've been doing is going on a lot of walks. I've really got into walking because that is one of the only things we can do outside. So I have got into walking, but I really like to read. Reading's quite a big hobby of mine. I read every single day. So I've been reading.
So do you live near the ocean, like water somewhere?
I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. I live quite close to the airport. So quite near the city.
You are not that far from me then. I am also on the same road. The airport line. Yes, not that far. So maybe even though we haven't seen each other face to face, but you have been my student for a while, but unfortunately we didn't see, maybe on the train or one day. Yeah, because I have had so many students over the last couple of years and they have been only online, and many of them wanted to meet. They say different things, but unfortunately our hands have been tied.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your best holiday destination? Like, where do you want to be? Something.
So, I mean, the best holiday I've been on was I went to the Maldives. With my mom and my brother.
Beautiful.
Yes.
If you have a bicycle, you can travel the whole country in a day, I think. I would love to.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That if you have a bicycle, you don't need a car or anything, so you can travel from one end to the other. That's what I learned. I haven't been there, but I know some people being there and they permanently live there. It's a beautiful country, definitely. I have seen a lot of documentary and all these things.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Beautiful water. A lot of cultural things, like how you drink coconut and everything. You must have experienced those things, like food.
Yes.
People. Yeah. So you're planning to stay here permanently with your partner, right? Is it
ideally, yes. So the visa we're on now is for another 3 years on student visas. Ideally, at the end of that, we would like to stay. I mean, we'll see what happens. It is difficult being far away from family, but we love the lifestyle here and we would like to stay. So we're starting to have a think about how we could possibly stay.
So yeah. How different is that culturally? Like when you compare Australia with England or the United Kingdom, how are you finding? I know England is also fun. Many people like it's vice versa. Like Aussies love to be in the UK while British people, would like to stay here. I have seen that because I have only one brother. His family, they live there. I have only one brother, elder brother. He lives there. He has been there for many, many years. I have a lot of relatives, especially my cousins, my aunts, uncles. They all live pretty much in 3 cities, London, Birmingham, and Bristol. They have a lot of businesses and all these things. Now, they also asked me to stay there, go back and settle down, but I didn't do. But when I, hear from people here, like Australians, they love to be there. And a lot of English people living here. Now, just want to understand the difference. Even though I was a tourist when I went there, I didn't live there for many months. But what's your experience like? How would you differ? Like, what is fun about Australia compared to the UK, or like if you share something with the audience?
Yeah, so there are lots of similarities, but in terms of differences, there's probably a couple of differences. One of them is how chilled out Australians are, and the culture is here, especially in workplaces. In the UK, it's very stressful at work, and it's kind of that mentality that if you're not stressed, then you're not working hard enough.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. Whereas in Australia, it's very much not like that.
Yes,
there's
very
a
much
good work-life balance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Maybe it's similar to Japan. In Japan, Japanese also think that they work really long hours, and if they work under pressure all the time, they get acknowledged, appreciated. That's how they think, but
Yes.
you're right. I agree with you totally. That's good. And this is something you really love, eh?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's so much better for your mental health to have that work-life balance. Yeah.
So what's your ideal job in future? Like, what would you like to do? Because you're doing a business course with me now. So would you like to be a business magnate type of person, or you want to work for other people in the business?
I think at the moment, I would say it would be to work my way up in a company and get onto the management level. I know there's a lot of people that would like to start their own businesses and have that kind of thing, but I haven't really, there's nothing that I want to do like that at the moment. So for me, it would be working my way up through a company. So I really like the company that I work for now, which is a professional body in accounting. And I work in the education department, which I've never worked in education before until coming to Australia, but I really like it there. So I'd quite like to work my way up there in the next few years, if I can.
So you like the culture there, you like the way
Yes.
they treat you, and you like the business as a whole, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yes.
A little bit different question that, like, what is important to non-native English speakers when it comes to practicing English language? Obviously, English is originally from your culture, your tradition, from your experience. As in my class, you see a lot of people coming from different cultures. A lot of them struggle to speak well, write well, listen to us well, and also understand and read. You see that. Now, what would be some of the tips that you can give to people? Because this video, will be watched by people mostly from Bangladesh, India, and some Nepalese, they do, So what tips you'd be giving them that they should pay more attention to, when it comes to, English language?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I would say is to keep practicing having conversations in English. When I first came to Australia, I lived in a house share, and I lived with somebody from Colombia. And he'd always lived with other people that spoke Spanish, and he'd never had to really try to speak English before. So living with us, we'd always speak English with him, and his English improved massively, just trying to have those day-to-day conversations. That really helped him. So I think definitely like practicing and trying to have those conversations is helpful.
So what will happen, like, if they don't have partners, for example, like they may not be living in a country where they have people coming from native English speaking countries. Like if they come to Australia, or they go to New Zealand, Canada, USA, UK, Ireland, Malta, generally these countries where English is spoken as the first language, they get the opportunity. Like people who do not get the opportunity to speak English with native speakers, is there any tip that you can think of that they can do to, have their way around, make their way around, or, like improve their English? Anything that you can think of?
Yeah, so two things. I think maybe the first thing that I would say is to watching something in English. Like on Netflix, something like that, you can always change the language and even put subtitles on. So watching and listening and trying to understand a TV show could be helpful. Also, maybe having conversations online, like maybe there's certain clubs or something like this where you can meet people
online, making friends.
Yeah, making friends online, trying to have conversations that way. And then the last thing I'd say is, if possible, reading in English. I think that's something, like from my experience with people I've met who were non-native English speakers, they find it quite difficult reading and writing English. So maybe
in our class as well, some of them.
Yes.
I also advised through some of my videos on the channel that watching kids cartoon, the cartoon shows, because generally the speakers who deliver the voice, they speak very slowly and very clearly because they are made for kids. So I treat English language learners are also like, they are the elementary stage and they are like children. So they should take care of this seriously, because I find that when they watch like Angry Birds, Peppa Pig, or, many of them like Frozen, a lot of, cartoons are around. And when you watch them, even Spider-Man, I have seen that the language used there is very clear and very, like easy for everyone to understand. And they always come with subtitles. So I'm sure that if they start from there and then slowly they move on to Netflix, as you mentioned, and watching probably what is called BBC, CNN, the English news and all these things, they would be pretty helpful, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And trying to obviously speak to people from different countries, no matter where they belong to, I would say. So these are some of the, biggest tips, I would say. Yeah, so thank you very much, Camilla, for your time and to share some of your experience and all these things. So we also learned about your hobbies and interests. I'm sure they would impress other people as well, because reading is always a great thing, because I'm a writer personally, so I write for people to read by anyway. You know that I have written some books and I would love to continue my journey as well. So definitely learners should learn how to read patiently. That's very important. So is there anything else that you want to share with the audience before you say bye, Camilla?
I guess the only thing I'd say is just keep practicing. Practicing makes perfect. So just keep practicing with your language.
I would say so as well. I always tell them, make a lot of examples, put the words in phrases, making sentences and writing down. I also give tips to write the words. If you remember in my class, I told many times, and put them on the wall and have a look at them every morning and night. You may have hundreds of them. They are actually post-it notes. So I did mention in the past, and just practice and make sentences. That's how it should be.
Definitely.
Okay. Once again, thank you very much, Camilla, for your valuable time. I know you have been attending my class whole day today, and I bothered you a little bit. Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that these tips would be very much helpful.
No problem.
People, watching my channel. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day and stay safe.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.